Right guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all going to be about gaining distance, and especially off the tee, but this is still relevant with irons. And namely, we're going to be focusing about starting the downswing correctly, so the downswing sequence. And I have for you an amazing exercise that made such a huge difference to me. I've picked my club head speed up from, well, that one there was 106, but I'm quite often now swinging at 108, 109, whereas I was around that sort of 102, 103 mark. And I want to share with you how and the sequence work. So let's jump straight into the drill. What I want you to do, and do this with me, so grab a club, just hold the club with your lead hand. So for right-handed golfer, your left hand. And what you're going to do with your trail hand is it's just going to loop round the back, okay, of your lead elbow, lead arm here. So take it, loop it around the back here. I want you to get to the top of the backswing. And I want you to start the downswing with a couple of things. We've got to multitask. There has to be a press into your lead side to start the downswing. So we want to start from the ground up, right? We're all pretty aware of that. Think about throwing a ball. We don't do it with the upper body first. We definitely do it with that force moving into that lead side. So we want to feel like our hips do move, our pelvis slightly towards the target laterally, and we want to feel like we're applying some downward pressure into that lead shoe. But we'd like to delay our upper body. Now, just because you focus on working the lower body doesn't mean you're going to delay the upper half. So this is a great way to feel it. Get to the top of the backswing, push into that lead side, get those hips going forwards, and really just feel like you delay this upper body unwinding. And when it does unwind, which is going to do, you're going to see it's going to be a gradual unwind. It's not a pulling of the arms down. And you'll see that my hands and the handle are moving down and forwards in front of me, which is great to help shallow that golf club. So the last drive I just hit there, nice high draw. And that's what most golfers want to hit and perhaps need to hit off the tee to gain some yardage. That big high draw, I mean, my spin rate was under 2,000. So that's a great way, as long as you can launch it high enough, to gain some distance. So not only gaining club head speed, but gaining some distance just from a very efficient ball flight. So feel like we start with the lower body, but delay the upper half. And I'm really just feeling that stretch and that pull. Of course, my hands are working downwards, but they're not being yanked downwards. They're kind of coming down with that rotation of my upper half. And my body has to unwind. I just don't want the upper body to be unwinding first. I want to feel like there's a press and my arms are dropping and rotating, okay? So we don't want that type of movement that we see with so many fader slices out there. And ultimately, we don't want this movement. Now, I have given golfers this feel, okay? So if you are very extreme this way, you probably want to exaggerate the opposite movement. Now, that's not reality, but the opposite movement will be the arms feeling like they fall more behind you. So exaggerate that move by all means, but the real position we want is the arms to move down and in front of us, because that helps that club just drop slightly behind my hands into that delivery stage to create that nice in to out path that produced that draw shape that I just hit. So delay the upper body, but press into that lead side with the lower body, and you should feel some tightness and tension when you make that movement. I often refer to Rory McIlroy, when I'm talking about efficient driving, because he's so efficient at it, isn't he? You know, at 5 foot, I don't want to get his height wrong. Is he about 5'10"? Put a comment below, let me know what I think about that. And yet drives it miles. He hits that high draw often off the tee, that high launch, low spin, like I was producing, but a good 50, maybe more yards behind him. So massively efficient ball flight, hasn't he? And what Rory does so well is by the time his hips get back to the target, parallel to the target line, his upper body is still close to the target by 45 degrees. So by the time his hips are back to, let's say, 0, okay, so they've opened up by about 45 degrees, they've got back to where they started at about 0, parallel to the target line, his upper body is still closed this way. And that creates huge amount of torque We call it X factor stretch, and good golfers create a bigger X factor stretch here in the start of the downswing movement. So many golfers lose their X factor stretch because their sequence is poor. I'm going to go ahead and hit one, and I have for you another drill, just something you could do simply at home, working on exactly the same feels without hitting golf balls. So I'm just going to do one rehearsal. And you can see the arms are dropping, but I'm almost delaying that, creating that bigger stretch between the two. I'm just going to feel it and then hit it. What a shame. That one was just out the heel of the golf club, so not my longest. Not bad clubhead speed, pretty good efficiency, ball speed. Had too much backspin on that one, but that was just more from contact. I'm going to give it another go and see if I can hit one better than that. Just ran out of fairway, so direction wasn't bad, but not my best attempt. Let's jump onto a drill before I hit one more. So I mentioned there an at-home exercise I'd like you to do, and I just always think use a couple of alignment sticks. If you can push one through your belt loops, on your trousers, and then put another one across your shoulders, and just look at the difference between the two when we're making the movement. So let's aim for a good at least 90 degrees of shoulder turn. So we want this cane, if we put another one on the floor that was 90 degrees from our target line, so at right angles to it, we'd like this to match up with the one on the floor, so that's at least 90. And you can see there, to achieve that, my hips are turning maybe half of that, okay? So if in the downswing I can increase that gap, so feel like I delay this upper half, but start to drive that lower body first, so my hips are moving towards the target and starting to rotate, and I'm just feeling like I delay that upper body, so it's a real good visual to try and increase the gap between these two alignment sticks early in the downswing, with that lower body going first before that upper body starts to catch up. Now, I've mentioned this before, but if you haven't seen one of my videos before, if you're new to the channel, welcome. But the point that you would get your shoulders catching up with your hips would just be slightly after impact. So in an ideal world, we want our shoulders, our torso to match our hips after we've hit the golf ball. So many golfers are getting their upper body catching up with their lower half too early in the downswing before they get to the golf ball. Think about delaying that upper half as we drive the lower half. Those two exercises, the alignment stick and then the trail hand around the back of the lead arm, and just feel like we delay. And it's a great one to sense where the arms are working as well. So the arms are working down and in front of us. You know, this drill is great for focusing on the trail arm movement, the wrist movement, the hand plane, where the club is. So it's a real multi-use exercise. I want to finish with one more and see if I can get a bit more speed out of it. That wasn't my quickest. Let's see if we can get into the 108s, 109s. That felt pretty good. Very similar to my first result there. I've picked a hole where I probably wouldn't actually hit driver if I'm honest. Well, I guess it's not causing me any problem there, but I'm hitting through that first bit of fairway. So it felt good. Launch and spin was still good. Ball speed looks decent. 107, I might have to live with that. So 107 clubhead speed, 151 ball speed. So pretty happy with that efficiency. That was my quickest one of the three. And I feel a little bit out of breath. But when you're working and training for speed, that's a great way to do it. Now, people are worried when they're working for speed, they're going to lose accuracy. For me, not. Actually, the more committed I am, the straighter they're going as well, the more fairways I'm hitting. And we're really talking about improving the sequence of the downswing. So this should improve accuracy as well as distance. It's not just gain distance and lose everything else from it. I hope those tips and drills really help you for this winter work, this off-season practice to start to gain some yardage. If they do, put some comments below. Make sure you smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content just like this.